talk about it, or ask me any questions. But it started. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to a another discussion topic. Um, Again, I know I should be playing the actual game if I'm doing these discussion topics, but I don't have Ratchet and Clank downloaded, so that's kind of the situation. But oh well. Also, I'm trying to do things in Star Wars anyways, so you guys will probably see me be going as a boss when I play Yoda. Otherwise, here's the discussion topic for today. The discussion topic is going to be about one of the most successful game. Oh, what's that word?
Like for history or
No, it's series. One of the biggest game series of all time, and it's one of the most successful. We are going to be discussing Ratchet and Clank, and the one character we're going to be and we're going to be discussing about the second one because there's a particular thing that I want to discuss about it. So with that being said, we'll get on with the discussion. So, in Ratchet and Clank, the second one, it has a reputation of being the second best Ratchet and Clank game behind the third one. The third one is still ranked as being the best Ratchet and Clank game of all. Even the remake doesn't even come close to how good it was. That's true. But the second one was a stepping stone, and at least all of Ratchet and Clank for the characters in general to one character that was a big stepping stone for everyone. We are, of course, talking about Captain Qwark. Now, if you guys heard in the first one, okay, and Captain Qwark in the first Ratchet and Clank was said to be the greatest hero in the galaxy. And obviously, playing the first one, we all know that was false. But in the remake, they actually do make this true that he is a hero, but not as good as not like the greatest hero in the galaxy that everybody thinks he is. Now, the only thing that I love in Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, that's the second game, is the fact that Captain Qwark was still counted as a villain. Like I said, his first appearance in Ratchet and Clank was that he was a villain being made to look like a hero. We all love those. And then Ratchet and Clank humiliated Captain Qwark, beating him, and then basically everybody realized, hey, this was not a hero. He was actually working for Chairman Drek. Then, in the second one, again, Captain Qwark tried to kill Ratchet and Clank, and it didn't work with one of his plans. Or could it have? That is the actual main topic, is how Captain Qwark failed in the second one. And that how he could have easily survived. How he could have easily have beaten Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank in the second one had no idea where Captain Qwark was. Which no one knew throughout the whole game that Captain Qwark was actually Mr. Fizzwidget in the second one. The person that everyone was making them think that, hey, yeah, I contacted you about help trying to find the Protopet. That's the that becomes the thing you have to fight in the end of the game. But even still, with the whole thing being about the Protopet, Mr. Fizzwidget talks to you and, you know, tells you, hey, this is how, like, this is where the thief is. This is where, how you're gonna be able to get into his like his operation, to insinuate the thug's operation, and yada yada yada. There's so many things that Mr. Fizzwidget tells you. Then, when you give him back, when you say that you have the Protopet, he gets a little bit more different than what he is in the very first beginning. He acts like he does not know what he's doing. In his ship, because he destroys yours, he then picks you up and ejects you out the ship, making it look like an accident. Then when you try to contact him, telling him about the Protopet, how he needs to do caution, boom, he's not listening to you at all. He's thinking, oh, you know, he's too focused on probably getting coffee. At least that's what it sounds like he's doing, or just either coffee or just having an ice cream or something. Oh, you're doing one too. Sweet. So, yeah.
On Twitch.
Like Chung, you do it on Twitch?
Yeah, I got Twitch. So I'll go last stream maybe like 11:30 or 11:40.
But anyway, guys, continuing on. Again, throughout the whole game, nobody realizes, hey, Captain Qwark is Mr. Fizzwidget. So there comes up endless amount of possibilities that how Captain Qwark should have easily have beaten Ratchet and Clank. First of all, here's like I said, the big situation about this whole problem is that if no one knows who Captain Qwark is, and he's portraying himself to be somebody he's really not, then that opens up numerous amount of possibilities. Like, you know, no one's gonna question what he does unless they're gonna be like, well, you know, this is weird, like, why are you doing this? But, you know, they're not gonna be like, you know, questioning it so much that they're just gonna be like, oh, we can't do that. Unless it's the situation where it's like, oh, yeah, that's not a good thing to do, Mr. Fizzwidget. What's up, fellas? So, yeah, there's that situation. Then you also have the other big situation about this that, and I'll get to the other reason why Captain Qwark made his ultimate demise in the second one, is that towards the end of the game, you see him, you see him throw away his disguise, and you see him as Mr. Fizzwidget. And then he's saying that he's going to portray himself as the hero of the Bogon Galaxy, instead of just having them kill Ratchet and Clank right away. He makes it have a publicity stunt to make himself a hero again, which that's the reason why Captain Qwark epically failed in going commando. If Captain Qwark would have been a lot smarter in the game, and instead of trying to make himself a hero again, he had a numerous amount of options in order to be able to say I just beat you guys and you guys can't do anything about it since you're obviously gonna be in prison or dead. Which again, that's the hero thing, you know. We never want to see our favorite heroes die in the game. We never want that, you know. That's not just you know, 1% of the world. That's everybody. Everybody never wants to see that. So in the understanding, it's like, yeah, we do understand, but also, you know, looking at it, it's like, yeah, but we still have to talk about it because, you know, Captain Cork could have easily have beat Ratchet and Clank. And sad thing is, out of every single person that Ratchet and Clank has fought, Captain Cork actually had the biggest opportunity to kill Ratchet and Clank more than any of their villains. Which to me makes that him being the smartest, but also the dumbest villain in Ratchet and Clank's life. So, because again, like I said, like I just explained, Captain Cork could have easily have stayed under that disguise, and then instantly having it turn on Ratchet and Clank. Captain Cork could have easily have done so much to making it to where if he would have stayed in his disguise, he could have done millions of things of saying, yeah, hey, these guys tried to, you know, these have been the masterminds behind this whole situation. We need to take him out. Now, one thing that is kind of hard to overlook at that Captain Cork did have a good reason of throwing out his disguise is that nobody honestly could have possibly believed Mr. Fizzwidget at the time, saying that Ratchet and Clank was at fault when, you know, obviously the person behind Megacorp is obviously Mr. Fizzwidget. So, you know, when you look at it that way, it kind of makes it look like, you know, Captain Cork did the right thing of, you know, saying nah. But technically, not really, because in the game, you find out that Captain Cork had Mr. Fizzwidget hidden in a broom closet, which then opens up another major situation where, yeah, Captain Cork being like, yeah, here's the real Mr. Fizzwidget, and boom, could have easily have brought him back when Ratchet and Clank took out the Protopet and could have easily have made it out saying this Protopet, I mean, you know, Mr. Fizzwidget being like, hey, you know, I'm not responsible for the Protopet menace, and everyone's gonna be looking at, you know, the actual Mr. Fizzwidget being like, we saw you killed my girlfriend robot, Clank could have said that, and also, saying that, and then also, everyone's like, no, you're lying. We already, you know, we tried to believe you, Mr. Fizzwidget, and look what you did. So we're not gonna believe you again. Yeah.
I knew you had it in you. Next stop,
Huh?
mayhem and destruction on the Dreadnought.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
But so that is one of the big things about how Captain Cork should have beat Ratchet and Clank, is that he could have
Everything you've got.
is that oh, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry, guys. The way that like I said, Captain Cork could have beat Ratchet and Clank in that situation. That he could have then said, you know, made up another disguise, and he wouldn't have to even worry about going back or being humiliated again. Because at the ending of the third one, at the ending of the second one, you know, at the ending of the second one, he gets humiliated again by being the test dummy for Megacorp, and it's kind of like, why? So that's the situation. That he just got humiliated again, which if he would have kept that disguise and ran away, when he had the chance, he could have easily have got away with it. So there's that one situation where, again, yeah, he could have gotten away. The second situation that he could have beaten Ratchet and Clank with. Looking through every situation that Captain Cork had because of how he was made to be Mr. Fizzwidget. He could have had it to the situation as to where he could have well, there was another way he could have done it. In the situation that they said that you know, Mr. Fizzwidget was all this bad guy. If Mr. Fizzwidget, if he was really smart, he could have easily have made it to where he could have looked at everybody and be like, hey, see, I've been trying to stop the Proto-Pet Menace, but then they locked me up, and you know, boom, they locked me up and I couldn't get out. He could have easily have played the situation, coming out of the closet saying, hey, this is, you know, this isn't, this is the real me. They took my real identity, and you know, they made a disguise looking exactly like me and everything, and then boom, 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 I'm back. I'm here taking control. We're gonna stop the Proto-Pet Menace. Now, the only problem to that one, and I see it right away, no one's gonna, you know, no one's gonna believe that somebody has a real life, like an exact copy look of you. I mean, heck, Spider-Man didn't. I mean, Spider-Man in the animated series didn't think somebody looked exactly like him until boom, you know, until he found out, hey, that's Mysterio. That's the thing with a lot of people that, you know, they never looked at the situation as to where, hey, somebody could look exactly like you. And when it does happen, everyone's like, no, that's impossible. Well, and that's a closed-minded deal to say because, you know, that's getting closer and closer to the world. But still, you know, we can't look at people and say they're stupid for that because, I mean, heck, I mean, if I found somebody who looked exactly like me and talked exactly like me and everything, I'd be looking at them being like, okay, you're a fake. You know, everybody would. Because you know it's the real you. But again, like I said, the only the big situation about this whole part is that you do have, like I said, you do have the problem with people thinking, okay, you're nuts. But here it comes. Here's the big situation. Captain Cork could have easily have made the real Mr. Fizzwidget say whatever he wanted him to say because he'd be scared of his life. And with that being the situation, make Mr. Fizzwidget say that, hey, these actual heroes are the villains. And could have been like, oh, really? Okay. Thank you for telling us, Mr. Fizzwidget. And the heroes couldn't do anything about it because in everyone's eyes, you know, they're gonna be like, oh my god, these heroes we thought were good are actually behind everything. And another thing to say, and the other thing that they could have done to make it that possibility is that they could have easily have what Captain Cork could have done to make this situation actually happen is that they could have he could have taken off the disguise, made Mr. Fizzwidget say all this stuff, and throw the disguise on the floor and make the real Mr. Fizzwidget throw the exact copy on the floor, saying, here's the actual disguise that they used. It's an exact it copies my look exactly. And the evidence is right there, and Ratchet and Clank could honestly, you know, deny it up and down, but with the evidence being like that, and also showing that that there's an actual life-size model. I mean, there's an actual exact copy. They're dead. They'd be in jail for the rest of their lives. Captain Cork would be going free and being able to come back saying, yes, it is I, Captain Cork. I have stopped the Protopet menace once and for all. Then he could have done it. The biggest situation, the thing that the discussion is, guys, is discussing how he failed, how he could have beaten Ratchet and Clank. And like I said, this could have been a major win for him. But the problem with his whole situation in the game was the fact that he decided, instead of trying to beat Ratchet and Clank, he tried make it to where they spent the rest of their lives in a cell. The smart way. He did it the weak way of taking out dumping a very, 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 very good disguise that nobody, again, like I said, nobody knew that he was who he really wasn't. They all thought that he was, they all thought he was, you know, they all thought he was, who he was, Mr. Fizzwidget. Everybody thought that. And he decides to throw away that perfectly good disguise just because he's gonna say, look here, citizens, these are the masterminds to the Protopet Menace, when, again, that's the really stupidest thing he could have done, because like I said, no one knew who he was. No one knew he was Mr. Fizzwidget. Nobody even questioned that Captain Quark could have been Mr. Fizzwidget, because who would honestly question that and not think of themselves as an idiot?
Our forces have taken control of the command post.
So it's that situation as to where it's like, hey guys, you know, I know this is kind of sounding stupid, but couldn't Mr. Fizzwidget maybe be somebody he's not? They obviously look at him and be like, you're a retard. You know, it's that simple. It really is. Nobody's ever going to expect that, and if you even question it, everyone's going to look at you and be like, dude, don't even think like that, because that makes you just seem more stupid than what everybody thinks you are already. That's really what they're gonna say to you. They ain't gonna take you serious at all from that. Yo. So yeah, that's the big situation that Captain Quark had. That was basically a walk in the park for him, of saying, yeah, you know, I got this whole situation to where nobody knows that I'm in the disguise of the real Mr. Fizzwidget, and again, like I said, if he was a little bit smarter than what he was, he could have easily have made it to where he could have made the real Mr. Fizzwidget say these two are in a disguise. He has the disguise that Captain Quark used, throws it on the ground, boom. Ratchet and Clank is screwed because the evidence would just be too great. The real Mr. Fizzwidget's back. He knows everything. He knows everything that happened, and there's a life-size decoy. There's a life-size deal that says exactly, that shows that, yeah, this person was actually this was a disguise. Yeah, he's screwed. They're all screwed. Ratchet and Clank is done. The other situation that could have been a good escape plan for him is that instead of him getting himself eaten by the Protopet like he did, because again of his stupid situation that he put himself in, what he easily could have done is try feeding Ratchet and Clank to the Protopet. And obviously Ratchet and Clank beats the Protopets like they do, then instead of thinking you need to, and you know, instead of having the situation the way it is, he could have been like, you know, escaping. He could have escaped through that situation, and he could have planned more. He could have had more plans that he could have done, instead of just being like, oh, I'm getting eaten, oh, I'm lost. one more big situation that could have been a major good change about this, and this is gonna be the last point that that made it to where you know, it could have been a major big change for the game. Is that the only thing that everybody knew about Captain Quark was when they were listening to the Behind the Hero. They kept doing the court cases. Anything. If Captain Quark made a replication about you know, as realistic as what he did for Mr. Fizzwidget, there should honestly be no reason to say that he could not do that for Ratchet and Clank's disguise. That he could have easily have tried to disguise Ratchet and Clank as well. And like I said, Captain Quark did a really good job for a person whose reputation after the third one, he becomes a person who doesn't like to fight and who becomes pretty much kind of a sissy, but a great strategist still. He still could have easily have made a disguise of them and could have done that way. Or, oh, actually, I just thought of one last point, guys, and this is one of the biggest ones. Now, the only thing is that they're just got is that this probably could have, you know, went out a little bit more than what I think it could have. Like, it probably wouldn't have lasted that long. Sorry guys, I got something in my throat. Okay.
Capture of command post has begun.
What they honestly could have done, guys, to make their situation a lot better, to make Captain Quark really think he's won, is that they could have had it. He could have had it to where, at least in a little bit, he could have made it to where he made a disguise of Ratchet and Clank, like I said before, and made it to where, hey, guys, these heroes that
We have started to capture a command post.
these heroes that I said that I brought over here, it's like, no, these guys are actually villains. Which, again, I will give it to Captain Quark. He tried it. He tried to make him a villain. But in the case, it would have been a little bit easier to make. It would have been easier to make it believable that they're a villain if Captain Quark would have taken a little bit of time to make their reputation that way in already. If he could have made Ratchet and Clank's reputation already be a villain, it's basically over for Ratchet and Clank, because they'll be having so many people being like, wait, why are we having a villain? Why are we having... Now they're gonna be thinking, hey, why are we wanting a hero, a villain, trying to protect our galaxy? And in that case, you know, what would make us believe that you didn't do this. It's looking at the situation like, huh? Like, again, like I said, it's a situation as to where it's like, oh gosh, you know, they got the situation as to, oh, he already got the situation to saying that they're already villains, so there comes up the realization to them that they're like, wait a second, if you're a villain if you were a villain in your galaxy, and like if you're a villain in our galaxy, why should we not be able to think that you're making Mr. Fizzbridget do all this? And you know, there's the whole situation. It's like, it's just looking at it like, oh man. So really, guys, that's the reason. That is the big thing that Captain Quark should have won in the second game. Except, again, like I said, he just did. He basically screwed up his own plans and made it to where no one was able to say, hey, we know everything now, and then just humiliated him even more because of his own mistake. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the discussion. I was gonna, yeah, please leave a like in the video. Oh yeah, this is my channel, guys, not yours. Calm down.
we just drug around like we're retarded. Also follow on Twitch.
Hey, no self-advertising on my video, young man.
Alright, that's not okay.
I don't like young munchkins having to say that in my video. But yeah, guys, sub to his Twitch.
Yeah.
You never told me how to Twitch. You just told me you have a YouTube.
Yes, that's true. You just saw us on YouTube. Amen.
Yeah, sub to, you know. Yeah, like he said. Alright, guys, oh, speaking of that, I do have, something to tell you guys. And whoever plays Star Wars Battlefront 2 that watches my videos, the double XP, I'm not double, bleh, the triple XP, is going to be, getting out, is going to be, you know, lost at around 11 o'clock p.m., I believe, Western, I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, like I just announced, double XP is leaving tonight. So, if you guys want to upgrade your characters fast and, you know, get those cards that you need and, you know, just make yourself feel triple XP in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, triple XP is leaving tonight at 11.
Now, we can't let a bunch of clankers destroy our ship, can we?
So yeah, guys, With that being said, peace, love you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.